I was selling drugs, and I would sell them on the streets of Mukono, and we would own some parts of them, like Club 1 next to Sombe, and then Hive next to UCU, Casablanca next to UCU. Yeah, so we had those fights between we, the selling people, and then the ones we sell to. And most of them I would use the girls to sell for me inside the clubs. So they hit me with a paver. And when they hit me with the paver, it was the last time I knew anything. So I ended up in the hospital. Comes a day, I'm from the hospital, and then I tell myself, enough is enough. I'm Kajiri Jime, a born-again Christian, 35 years of age, the 15th out of the 18 number of children, and a son to the late Lubanga and the Margaret Lubanga. I was born in Busia, raised by a single mother, and I hardly stayed with her still. I was so much sidelined and stayed in boarding sessions for quite a long time. Yes. School wasn't easy. Though I would access tuition, I would have the needs needed, but the love from the parents wasn't that available. Our father, being an extended family, he used to come once in a year to visit us. And being that I wasn't also in the same place in Busia, they would put me in Mbali. That's where I would be for the boarding sessions. That's Busia and Mali boarding. By that time, they were called the DCs. He would run Mukono, Lugazi, Iganga, till Mbali. My mom's job was roasting chicken and selling chicken. I was put in the boarding sessions, and I would come back home. They would take me for first term and then be picked at the third term. So it's only the third term that I could come back home and stay with the family. The beginning of the year is when I go to school, and then as my fellows come back for the holidays, I stay with the matron. The second term is the same thing, and then the third term is when I'm picked. That went up to 1993. That's 93, then 96. 93 to 96 is when Dad passed on. And then in the will, we're supposed to be called, all the children. So that's when the life turned, and we were joined with our fellow brothers and sisters in Mukono. Yes, and then we were raised by our mother, who really took care of us and loved us. Yeah. I continued school, and by that time I was handed over to my sister, our firstborn, called Barbara, and she took care of me. I never lacked anything. She was there for me. Like before, I didn't have that love, so this time around she was there for me. Usually she used to come to Busia for holidays, being she was in Iganga. They would first come to Busia, stay for like nights, then be brought to Mukono. So when Dad passed on, I was handed over to Barbara. From that time up to now, I'm still accounted to Barbara. Yes, she paid my tuition. She took care of me up up to now. The addictions, it was in 2006. 2006 is when I began the addictions. We were in Machindye, and she would hardly be around home, being she was in the Ministry of Health, and she would be moving to fields, workshops, and she's always not at home. So I was given a lot of money most times. She would give me money, and I have that freedom. So most of the times I used to hang out with friends. The friends I met in Soroti, the friends I met in Machindye, and these are the friends who were good at karaoke. So once they were using their drugs, and I started with that. I started with marijuana, and then went to Tyson Warages when I started seriously taking them.
Hello, this is Anchored 619. We're so glad that you have followed us all this while. If you're new here, please subscribe, click that notification button. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. You don't want to miss any of our episodes.
I took these drugs. I used them for a long time. But she tell me, I think there's something wrong with you. By the signs, the eyes, the way you do things, how to smoke the weed and the compounds. But she reached a point and told me, I can't hope anymore. Maybe I'll take you back to mom in Mukono. And I saw no problem being taken back home. So I stayed home. Same thing continued. And then it was 2019, January, is the time when I really thought of enough is enough. It was after the fights in the bar, then to the streets. That time I was selling drugs, and I would sell them on the streets of Mukono. And we would own some parts of them, like Club 1 next to Sombe, and then Hive next to UCU, Casablanca next to UCU. Yeah, so we had those fights between we, the selling people, and then the ones we sell to. And most of them I would use the girls to sell for me inside the clubs. So they hit me with a paver. And when they hit me the paver, it was the last time I knew anything. So I ended up in the hospital. Comes a day, I'm from the hospital, and then I tell myself, enough is enough. I think I need to stop drinking waraj and then smoking. But I thought I would still sell the drugs. And then I called my sister, Barbara, because she's the one who brought me up. I told her I needed help. And she told me, I always waited for you. There's a friend called Becca. And Becca told her about Teen Challenge. And she told Becca, it's only when he says, I need help, is when I'll help him. Comes 24th October, I came to visit Barbara. I needed some money, like usual. I needed money to add more money in my business, that's selling the drugs. So she told me, I'll give you the money. But she told me you needed help. What is the help? Is that the hope? I told her, but I also want to stop doing this. I'm seeing my young brothers having their jobs, driving, and I'm always begging to them. Whenever we're having family gatherings, I'm always sidelined. I don't have a say. Until she told me, but you can be helped. And it's only the Lord that can help you. Well, I'd worked on other means of stopping the drugs. Like we would go to these herbals, people give you the drugs, and when you take them, that's when you can stop it. I took them several times, but it couldn't till when I came to this place, Teen Challenge Uganda. I had lessons. I gave myself to Christ. That was on the 24th at night. I met Mr. Hameling, and then I gave myself to Christ, and that was the turning point.
Hello, this is Anchored 619. We're so glad that you have followed us all this while. If you're new here, please subscribe, click that notification button. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. You don't want to miss any of our episodes.